Okay, live. We're live. I think we
All
got it.
right. I hope
The
this is working out for our
yeah,
audio. For the folks
uh,
joining us, welcome.
there's gonna be a delay. I changed the latency to have higher quality, and maybe that's where we were getting that static issue. So if that sounds good, let us know. We're gonna see that comment in about 30 seconds, just because
Okay.
there is a delay, but high quality.
That's the key. As long as there's no more static sound, I think that's where the magic happens.
Yeah, we heard that static. It was
Hope this is
bad.
working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
thanks for telling us. We could not continue that chat that way.
apologies, folks.
Hmm.
Hope this is much better though. I think the quality on my video is a little bad though, but
Yeah,
we're so weird.
I
The
think it
internet
has to be
gods are
Google
not
Meet.
on our side today.
Yeah, it has to be Google Meet, and it's weird too because I got like the premium version of it too, so I was kind of expecting higher quality.
Yeah. They should have fixed this, right?
Hmm.
Oof. Anyway, I think it's fine now.
Yeah, static is gone.
But
Okay,
yeah.
great news.
All right. Good. All right. So where were we? We were talking about the contagion, of
Contagion.
course. Um, you know, uh, some of the biggest names that actually invested into FTX this time around, you had institutions like Sequoia Capital. They put about $200 million. You had the Canadian Teachers Pension Fund, I think, in the tens of millions as well. And then you had Sino Capital, which is a really big VC fund based in Asia, and they're down significantly. They invested, early investors into Solana and Serum and those Solana ecosystem tokens. I looked at the numbers. Beginning of the year, Solana was at $6.68 billion. The ecosystem that was a TVL locked on the Solana ecosystem. Today, it is at $290 million.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's like down 95%.
Yep, exactly. Brutal, absolutely brutal. But I don't know. I think Solana is here to stay. I think the network effect, they really kind of reached escape velocity, and but this is really detrimental to the branding.
Yeah, they made a statement saying they were fine. Like their exposure to it was only like $1 million for $1 billion valuation. I'm
No,
hoping that's truthful. Uh, but people say what they need to say to stay alive in
yeah,
times of distress.
it just like how SBF said, FTX is fine, assets are
Yeah.
fine. Same
Then he
same
said
thing,
like,
right?
okay, FTX is fucked, but FTX US is
Yeah,
good. It's
yeah,
good, guys.
yeah, and then insolvent.
Yeah. Then, like, sorry guys, I fucked up. Everything insolvent. So
Yeah, just like the
Solana,
fund, same thing.
yeah, because they need that money there, otherwise it's gonna collapse. So I think that's what happened to Solana in the recent weeks, and in the coming weeks that might be happening. Hey, thanks, Martin. Sorry, I don't want to mess up your first name. That's a tough one for just something I haven't seen before. Um, we will make any donations and forward it to a dog shelter in Taiwan. I've been fostering this dog as of recently, and it's exhausting. Strong dogs are
And
exhausting.
dude, I have to say, by the way, if you guys didn't know, Dan really has a good heart. He took in a very very old dog in his final year and decided to give him a home, and we would be hanging out once a week, trying to create some content for you guys, our weekly meetup, and he would have to go back home upstairs every 2 hours to feed this poor dog his meds, because this is kind of on his final year. And unfortunately, Dan had to put him down. But hey, I have to say, man, you are amazing. The fact that you brought him in and care for this old dog and gave him a home for his final days is admirable, to say the least. Props to you, big time.
Thank you, thank
Huge
you.
respect.
If you got the means, work from home, want to be able to help where I can, and like making good content. I want to do that as well and your channel growing very rapidly. I really hope you guys be one of the early subscribers to the Crypto Rabbit Hole because he's making excellent content.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. So yeah, this live streaming is not our forte, hence the issues that we're experiencing. Because if you look at our content, it's planned, concise, precise content. But yeah, go check it out. I spent some time working on 2 FTX videos, so hope you guys enjoy. The last one we talked about orgies and drugs use and group sex and just wild things that happen in FTX headquarters. So something to check out.
Yeah, so I think that's due to their younger ages and just no oversight.
Exactly. And actually, going off of that, after FTX's collapse, the CEO who took over, his name is John Ray III, and he was actually a specialist in corporate restructuring. So he was actually the guy who came in to restructure Enron after its collapse. And Mr. Ray said that the corporate structure that FTX has is by far the worst he's ever seen. Like, to the point where he's actually shocked, and even worse than Enron, which is one of the biggest financial scandals that we've ever seen.
And the lawyers handling the FTX bankruptcy quit. They saw the books. They saw FTX, the Sam Bankman-Friedman statement to Vox. Like, oh, we can't defend this at all. Like,
Exactly.
we don't want to look bad. Yeah.
FTX has no money, exactly how much exposure they had in terms of liabilities. They don't know how much money they have. They're having trouble securing the whatever remaining assets they have. They had that big hack that happened after they declared bankruptcy. I mean, if it's a hack at all, who knows, right? At this point, it's all kind of, there's still a lot of speculation and talk of it might be inside job, but we'll have to see. But it's just crazy. These 20-something-year-olds and, being 30, they're just so inexperienced with people's money and completely imploding.
Yeah. I think got a lot of thoughts on that. But let's talk about Solana and their ecosystem and will they survive? We saw a lot of money flow out of the Solana ecosystem. TVL has dropped drastically. What hope do they have left? So if they're not insolvent and they can survive this, I think some of their products might, be able to still bring in crypto adoption and new users. I think they really need to make that Solana phone happen.
Yeah, I think Solana's focus has been bring adoption on a mass scale on retail end specifically. That's why they're launching their phones, for example. So there's definitely a distinctive difference between that layer one versus others. How that's going to play out is still yet to be seen. The tweet that you were mentioning, the founder and CEO, he did say that they learned from the 2018 crypto crash, and so they did prepare cash in case something like this did happen. So how that's going to play out has yet to be seen because, like all things, when people say one thing, something else could happen, like we've seen in the last few months.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Solana, I like the project, even though it's had its issues, with the outages and things like that. But when you factor those in, these are known cases, and so that's already priced in. So if they can fix the technical difficulties and also stay solvent in times of crisis like we're going through now, I mean, the potential is still pretty high.
Yeah, so I think in the coming months, it's going to take time for Solana to build back its reputation, to be reliable, and to expand their ecosystem before me personally trying to get involved. Oh, I think you froze.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at this point, market. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Can you guys
Yeah.
hear? Okay, I think I'm back. Yeah, I think at this point, in this cycle, in the bear market, it's unwise to accumulate other things other than Bitcoin, maybe ETH. Even ETH now, like the more I think about it, because of the whole SEC saying that it might become a security, if they're going to regulate it as a security, that might spell trouble for Ethereum as well. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But I think Bitcoin is always a safe bet. It's a granddaddy. If Bitcoin goes down, you can forget about any alts. I mean, even Ethereum is game over if Bitcoin goes down. I mean, everything is correlated to Bitcoin. So at this point, if you want to de-risk and play the safe bet, is to accumulate sats and get more Bitcoin.
And
Not financial advice,
yeah.
but
That's just yeah. That's the most decentralized currency.
Yeah.
As for things being classified as a security, I think yeah, it's just so weird that it has all these use cases, it has these functions, it has this utility, but it can still be classified as a security. Now, there's some recent drama about Live Nation and Ticketmaster and um, uh, Taylor Swift. It would have been really
Mhm.
bad if I forgot the name, but Taylor Swift, her tickets crush Ticketmaster. Anytime her tickets go on sale, those get resold. I was like, that should be a security. If we're gonna play this security game, investing in limited edition concert tickets because they get overpriced like crazy.
Yeah.
Um, that I feel like that needs more scrutiny.
Yeah, I would agree. But at the end of the day, crypto is has gotten so big and so mainstream. There's so much attention. I feel like Gary Gensler wants a scapegoat. They want to go after the big names. He went after Kim Kardashian very recently, where she paid almost 1.3 million dollars in fines. But that's a different story. But still, they did go after a massive mega superstar
Yeah,
like Kim
and
Kardashian.
she's a billionaire. Like $1
Yeah,
million, 1%. That less than 1% of her net worth. I was like, okay, here you go. Here's some change in my
yeah.
pocket. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. That's giving it like $10. It's just like, oh, whatever, like have it,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. No jail time, no penalty. I don't have to learn my lesson.
Crazy, crazy. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it plays out. But I absolutely agree. If you look at these concert tickets, I mean, if you're buying a concert ticket and you're holding it onto it because you think in the future it's going to appreciate value because of the artist or whatever other people that's doing to accrue value, that should be considered security as well, right? Because you're holding on to something that's appreciating in value due to other people's work that passes the Howey test. Everything comes
Yeah,
into the Howey test. So um yeah,
yeah.
it's
Same thing for Pokemon cards, like limited edition sneaker drops. Uh, just so many things in the collectible space.
absolutely, absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see how everything gets compartmentalized, because right now things are very ambiguous, to say the least. And so I think that's what's going to happen, especially with the FTX collapse. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more urgency having to um, really detail everything about the crypto regulation. Just having clarity, regulatory clarity, because that's so important. Mr. Wonderful, the Shark Tank investor, Kevin O'Leary, he came out and he said, "I'm not investing in anything until we have regulation." And he was talking about stablecoin regulation as his like number one priority. And I think that sentiment is very common amongst a lot of these institutional players who are looking into crypto. Right now, it's a very risk off environment. We also have to see what the Fed does with their monetary and fiscal policy, because if they're not printing any money, we're not going to get any injection of liquidity. Right now, there's a suck on liquidity that's getting out of the space. That's why it's a lot of risk off assets. That's what's happening. So it'll
Yeah,
be interesting to see what happens.
yeah. And for stablecoins, someone asked like, how safe is BUSD? I believe that's what they asked. And I looked into BUSD years ago. Actually, I did a video for Binance, and yeah, they actually have cash in the bank, like 98% in like U.S. regulated banks. There's a lot of transparency there, so I actually trust BUSD more than USDT and USDC. With USDC, I think they promised like 65% cash in the bank, and then cash alternatives and similar things like that. So that's
Yeah.
as for stablecoins, I did move things to USDC and BUSD for the time being because the markets are pretty shaky. And USDT is a wild card. It's been one for the last several years. But if you can like limit your exposure to it and just have a basket of stables until we get some momentum, or if you want to short the market, whatever you want to do, there's different directional bets you can always take in crypto.
Agreed. With USDT, there's been controversies since 2016, lack of transparency, being banned in New York City. I think last time we talked about this, but USDC on the other hand, operated by Circle, there's actually also some controversy there because they actually work with Digital Currency Group, and they said that they actually try to get yield through the Digital Currency Group partnership. And in case you didn't know, they have exposure to both Terra and also FTX. So, these are just things that you really have to pay attention and kind of
Hmm.
see, how these things are going to unravel because what risk is just kind of, foreseeing these things, and we're not foreseeing, playing the game of probability. That's really what it comes down to. And with USDT, obviously, they've been around the longest. They're the biggest. They're the most used globally, but also probably the most controversy. So everything is risk and reward. I think what you said is probably the best practice is to diversify amongst different stable coins, and because you just never know. Even BUSD, you never know.
That's true. True. Like, just so many things can happen behind the scenes. That's what we've learned in 2022. And I think a lot of people have turned into Bitcoin maximalists just because of all these events. And I'm like leaning towards that direction too.
Yeah, I think with these things, everything's a cycle, right? And in distressed times like these, really stressful times, people definitely gravitate towards Bitcoin because it's a proven protocol, right? It's the
Mhm.
0 to 1. The value uh, is truly there, right? You have um, massive use cases for Bitcoin, truly decentralized currency. Um, you know, you can't confiscate it, censorship resistant. Um, and actually, a lot of people say that it's backed by nothing. Actually, I disagree. It's actually backed by energy because you need to buy energy to mine this thing. And, there's a very clear correlation between energy consumption and Bitcoin. So I think if you want to do a store value, you want to hold your value for, the next decade or 20 years, Bitcoin is a good bet.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the best there too. Let's see. I think we got a question about Cardano and their stablecoin USDA. I wouldn't personally touch any stablecoin that isn't one of the mainstream ones at the moment. Because, we saw the collapse of stablecoins on all these alternative networks. You are taking risk in the event of like a bridge hack or just the liquidity dries up and then it's just not worth anything anymore. So there is a risk whenever using stablecoins, especially when it comes to a specific network. Um, Obviously there's Ethereum, but Ethereum has just proven itself for so many years that people go there for its security.
Absolutely, I agree. And with Ethereum, you have the most developer activities on chain. I mean, by like tenfold. If you look at the graph of developer activities between different chains, Ethereum trumps every single chain exponentially. So most of the developer activities is still happening on Ethereum. And now you have all the scaling solutions that's being built on top of Ethereum. So the use case is always going to be there. Real yield is always going to be there. So, that's, I think, a safe bet as well.
Do you think USDC
Let's
is
see.
the safest stablecoin? Uh, that's a bold statement. In this current climate, I can't say anything is safe. So
Yeah,
diversify,
exactly.
yeah.
Nothing is safe, right? I mean, if you look at if you hold cash, you have inflation.
Hmm.
That's not exactly safe. It is considered safer at this point in this environment. You have the risk-free rate, whatever it is, with federal bonds, government bonds. Anyway, just have to you have to look at your risk tolerance, what you're willing to get into, and what is your time frame. Because
Hmm.
if you're only looking to invest for the next year versus the next 20 years, that's a very different strategy.
Yeah, and with the current bear market, there will definitely be opportunities, but a lot of coins won't make it out of the bear market. They'll just kind of lose attention and eventually die over time. That's what we saw in the last crypto bull run and bear market, where only a small handful of coins were able to still thrive in the next cycle.
Absolutely. It comes down to network effects, and there's a lot of ghost chains out there that speaks a big game but doesn't have any real value and usage. No real network effect that's happening. So you'll definitely see a lot of them start to phase out. And the thing about technology is that it improves exponentially. So I think in the next year, or the year after, you're going to see even bigger, better protocols that are going to come into the market. That's going to suck away liquidity as well.
Mhm.
So it just depends on what kind of value you're looking to get out of in crypto.
Yeah, that's true. Like, that happened in the last cycle. Everyone's always looking for the new big thing. Like, oh, this is gonna be the Ethereum killer, and then everyone jumps on board up until the bear market, and then with limited users, with people not using the network, becomes a ghost chain, and then eventually goes to zero.
Exactly. Yeah. So at this point, you and I are both in crypto for a very long time, and it's always tough to go through these cycles, but it's just part of the game.
That's true. Like during the bear market, that's the best time to learn not to look at the markets. Unless you're making content, then you keep stumbling onto bad news.
Yeah, exactly. I think for me now is I try not to look at prices maybe once a day. I used to look at prices every 5 minutes, which is
Mhm.
very unhealthy.
I'm sure you guys have had that issue too when you first got into
Yeah.
crypto because it was new, it was exciting. Every 5 minutes, something
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, exactly. So at this point, I just kind of I kind of zone out from that, and I really enjoy making content. So I hope you guys enjoy what we've been making. We've been hard at work and trying to bring you guys some value.
Yeah, what do you guys want to see? Let us know in the comments. That could be the next video. Because in the current conditions, I'm kind of just kind of all over the place. I'm like, all right, to cover this, but do you really want to give people more bad news?
Exactly. I think, but with everything, right? There's always two sides of it. So we can look at the negativity or we can try to see what positives can come out of that. So I think what we can do is we can look at perhaps what did we learn from this experience and how do we avoid it in the future, right? What are the
Mhm.
biggest lessons that we can take away? I think that's what everybody will want to know. So I think the future is still very bright. It's just a bleep in the crypto cycle that we're going through right now. So I hope everyone stays strong. You got to just invest into yourself and take some time and try to grow. And that's all we can do.
Someone said they liked the interview with us with the scam coin. Yeah, that was fun. I feel like it's gonna be more difficult to get interviews with scam coins once they see that material. Um, but
Oh
we've
man,
kind of been in talks with some, but it's I don't think they want to be on camera.
dude, I had a blast doing that. By the way, I really had such a good time. If you guys haven't seen it yet, make sure to go check that out. That was a super
Mhm.
fun episode that we did.
There's a lot of other questions here. Feel free to join the Discord and just ask them there. I can answer every question individually if we don't have time. Um,
I do want to address one thing. I see from the chat that people are saying that you promoted FTX. I have to
yeah.
say, we always work and we try to gather information as best as looked like the very, very legitimate company that were doing really big things, right? Their logo was plastered everywhere in pro sports. The biggest superstars in the world were endorsing them. We had no idea that they did what they did because everything was opaque. Only the absolute doing. You look at some of the biggest funds in the world, Sequoia, they all invested in them. Yeah, maybe some more due diligence, but these are the due diligence part. We won't be able to see the books. We can't know the numbers that these guys are playing with. We don't know that they're over leveraging and they're funneling customer money to Alameda to trade. That's impossible for us to know as content creators. So I think I just want to address that. I've heard a lot of talk of people saying, "Oh yeah, you promoted a scam, this and that," but how the hell would you know it's a scam? I had no idea. So I think sometimes we have to put yourself in another person's shoes and kind of look at the data that was presented to them and how we act to the best of our ability in that regard. Now, obviously, we know what to look for. We need to be just look at more details if we can. That's if it's presented to us. But at the end of the day, we're humans, right? And so I hope people can understand that and you know, go along with the ride with us.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can really say, but obviously I can t- can't go back in time. But that was the best information at the time possible, and it's not like I was trying to like over. Yeah, it's really hard for me to put all this into words. I just have so many thoughts like rolling through my mind right now, but um, it's it's uh it's not something I could have seen. Like yeah, that was the best information we had available. They had this high reputation. If like Coinbase reached out and said, "Hey, we want you to promote," it's like, oh, I don't know, Coinbase, because once you're at that regard, people believe you. The same thing happened with Luna. A lot of people believed in Luna and the Taro ecosystem, and that fell apart too. But that was more due to bad tokenomics and just this spiraling effect. So it's a lot of things out there that we can only like learn from and move forward and be better. So that's my goal. I'm gonna try to make better content that is helpful. And now I'm just very scared to talk positively about anything with a coin. So I want to look at things that you can get for free or where you can be like an early user in an ecosystem where you can potentially get an airdrop. So that is the content goals at the moment for this channel. But let me know what you want to see in the comments or in the Discord. Discord link is in the video description, and it should take you to the Full Value Club.
Yeah, absolutely. If you study the things that really kind of induced the bear market this cycle around, the Terra crash and things like that, you know, Galaxy Digital was a huge proponent for Luna, right? I mean, Mike Novogratz had the Luna tattoo on his shoulder for God's sakes, right? And he's a billionaire, and his fund is as legit as possible. It's or as they come, should I say? Multi-billion-dollar fund, institutional money. They do a lot of due diligence, but it was a wrong bet, right? You have people like Anthony Pompliano, who promoted BlockFi heavily, right? Was he in the wrong? No, it was just like it was the best possible information that he got at that point. Yeah, did it go belly up? Sure, but businesses fail, things fail. Nothing is guaranteed. And so I think for us, we're always trying to learn. We're trying to gather good information. We're trying to get sources from different places. So, I hope you guys understand and, can keep going on a journey with us in exploring crypto content.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, how long have we been chatting now? Let's see, we've been going for about 28 minutes. If you guys have any other big questions, let us know now. Otherwise, you got anything else, CH?
Yeah, make sure to hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, definitely do that. It really helps us out,
check out CH's channel, his latest video. His link to his channel is in the video description.
Appreciate it. I hope you guys, enjoy. We're going to keep working to bring you guys good content. Dan and I have been meeting weekly. We try to brainstorm. We try to figure out what's a good topic. So anytime in the future, if you guys have anything you do want to watch or learn more about, let us know. We're more than happy to do the research and bring to you the best information we can.
Yeah, well said. All right. And with that, we hope you got your full value for today. And that's it. All right. Signing off. Bye, everybody.